what a professional setup, right? You know that everything is downstream of your beliefs. What you believe to be true is ultimately how life will manifest to you and what you will experience. And so everything comes up to your beliefs. You will never exceed your beliefs. If you think you cannot achieve something, no matter what you do, you will never achieve it. Because, like, your brain, your mind will just work in a way that you will not achieve it. And you know this because you know people who have limiting beliefs that you know to be wrong, but they believe it and they will not get the results they want. They will not get results out of what they believe. It will just not happen until they make the switch, right? They change their beliefs and then it becomes possible, right? And we all have this because I have beliefs that I may or may not be aware of that are limiting me, and you have the same. And so our success in life comes down to identifying the beliefs that are limiting us and effectively change them, creating new beliefs, right, that are serving us and help us achieve our goals. And I used to think that beliefs, mindsets, habits, everything like that happens like a switch where you don't have it until you decide, maybe you see someone online, you think, oh, he has these beliefs or he has this mindset, this habit, whatever. I want to have this too. You decide you want to have that. And then you kind of make the switch. It's a weird thing. You kind of make the switch and then you have it. And then you have the whatever you wanted to implement in your mind as a habit, as a belief, as a mindset, whatever. But I recently figured out it doesn't really work that way. Because it can feel like a switch, but it's often not. And thinking as if it was a switch doesn't help you to implement new beliefs, and ultimately it doesn't help you to achieve what you want faster. So, and I will get to examples in just a second, but installing new beliefs, changing old beliefs, or implementing habits, mindsets, whatever you want, is more like pushing a heavy stone ball, like a big stone ball, on a slightly inclined surface, where if you push it, it doesn't start rolling immediately. And even if you push it, it starts rolling. If you stop, it just stops, right? It will roll a little bit and it will stop because it's a very heavy ball, right? And so it's more like you need to continue pushing the ball until it gets enough momentum that even if you leave it, since the surface is a little bit inclined, it will continue rolling. But that doesn't happen immediately. You need to push it enough. And this to say that beliefs, mindsets, habits, they work as a flywheel. Like, the more repetition you have, the more ingrained, the stronger the belief, if that makes sense. And it can feel like a switch because after you hit that point of no return, right, when the ball is fast enough, it has enough momentum, at that point, like, it will continue rolling. You just leave it. At that point, you have the habit, right? You've been going to the gym for long enough. Now it's not hard. Like, you go on your own. Like, you have installed your belief. Now you just think that way. And it's automatic, if that makes sense. And so it may feel like a switch because after a certain point, you will not need to touch it. It will become easy. But it's not a switch. You need to push it beforehand. You need to put enough repetitions for it to be a switch. And even then, even when it's on its own, right? When it's automatic, so to say, the more repetition you have, the stronger it will get. It's like muscles. The more you can, like, the more you work it out, the stronger it gets, basically. And this with everything, because the more you believe something, the more you see evidence of it, the more like you apply it, the more like you will think it, right? The more it will come back. If that makes sense. And I made this mistake, and ultimately it took me way longer to install mindsets and beliefs and habits, because I just didn't get this. I thought it was a switch, and it's not a switch. Just to give you a few examples, it's a very clear example with women. Like, you don't just imagine like there's someone, or you're not confident, or someone is not confident with women. They could like just, snap their fingers and be confident, but that's not how it works, right? You need to put yourself in the word and be a little bit more confident, and then you get a few results and you're more and more confident until you're just confident with speaking to women. And even at that point, the more you do it, the more results you get, the more feedback loop, the more confident you become. It's not that you're confident, it's how confident are you. And you can always push it for more, if that makes sense. And it's the same thing with thinking to be unstoppable, that you can achieve everything you want. You see people like Hamza, like David Goggins, like Chris from First Man, like all these people are like all great people in history. They thought like they could achieve everything. Think of Kanye West, right? And in the beginning, like, because now I have this, but I didn't used to have this mindset. And so I can't really remember, but like if you imagine someone that doesn't have this mindset, they want to install that mindset because they realize if they think that they can achieve everything, that will serve them to achieve what they want, right? So they recognize, all right, this guy has this mindset, I want the same mindset, right? And so they try to implement it, to make it their own. And they try, and maybe they say it out loud, they make a few affirmations, and they don't feel that throughout the day. But maybe they have an achievement, right? They get a good result, or like they close some clients or in business, like they make a nice YouTube video that pops off, whatever. Like they get the girl or like whatever, and they think, yeah, man, like I'm the big G, like I'm so good, like I'm the best, and they're at their peak. They feel that thing in that moment, but then it comes down again, because then it fades, and you're in your day by day, and it just fades. And in that moment, they may think, oh, like it's not part of me, right? I don't really believe that I can achieve everything, but like they did back when they had a peak. And sure enough, like another peak will come, and they will feel like on top of the world, like they get another good result, and they're like, man, like nobody can stop me, right? And then they go down. And at that point, they might think again, now I don't have it. But if they think, oh, I don't have it, they think it as a switch. They think of the mindset implementation as I have it or I don't have it, like a binary thing. But it's not binary, right? Because it's how much they would fail to see the progress, where before they didn't feel at the top that they could achieve everything at all, like never. But now they already had 2 peaks, and then it will be 3 and 4. And if you see, it will become more and more peaks in a shorter period of time, until they feel like they're unstoppable once a week, right? And then once a day, and then once every 2 hours. And then it feels like they're always like unstoppable. Like also in their day to day, it's just something that they have inside. Always, but the times where they have a low, maybe. Like they fail, they do not achieve something that they wanted to achieve, they feel low. And then it continues, and it's more and more better and better feedback until like they always feel great no matter what. Like they almost have this sense of almost delusion, so to say, where they always feel like no matter what happens, I'm the best. You cannot beat me. And by having a switch mentality, that is harder to get, because until like they have the crazy like shift, they will always think, oh, I'm at level 0. Instead, if they have the more spectrum, the more progress mentality, they would recognize, all right, I'm feeling more and more like I'm on top. Like, you know, and as they realize that, oh, I had just 2 peaks this week where I felt like, damn, I'm on top, right? They start to feel it more and more because they realize they're getting there. It's a progress. And it's also easier to have that switch, to have that momentum, because they just realize it's me choosing when the momentum happens, right? You can need a little bit of proof and then it just starts rolling on its own, or you need a lot of proof before it starts rolling on its own. And the more you practice progression, the more you practice seeing mindset shift and beliefs and habits as this progress, and the faster you ultimately get to implement it, the better you become. And this also makes sense, right? The more reps you do in the gym, the better you become. Like with everything, the more you study, the better you are at studying. And the same thing, the more you implement new beliefs and shifts and habits, the better you become at implementing new beliefs, mindsets, and habits, right? So you also become better at that. So it will take shorter and shorter time until theoretically you could have the switch. And now it seems like I'm contradicting myself hard, but it's true. Like, this all to say, like, in theory you could have the switch. You could just decide and be, right? Because the only thing that is holding you back from that is your own brain. Because your brain has this thing called identity, where it just looks back in the past to predict your future actions. But if you didn't have memory, like you could have never gone to the gym until now. And today you decide you go to the gym. Like now, from today, from this moment when you make the decision, you could be an athlete. You could be a guy who goes to the gym. Because from the moment you decided and you actually went to the gym, like you've only been to the gym, right? If from that moment onwards you always go to the gym, from that start moment you effectively have been an athlete, right? And there is only, and you had a switch, you just decided and then you are. And then it doesn't require you effort. The ball starts rolling immediately. But you can only do that either if you're good at it. Yeah, basically if you're good at implementing mindsets and shifts and habits, like you can do it as a switch. But I had the thing where some things I can implement as a switch, but others I didn't. And having the belief that it needed to be a switch held me back from achieving it in a progressive way that would have been faster compared to forcing myself to have it as a switch and I couldn't get there. And so it would have been better for me to just take it as a continuum, right? So then I hope that makes sense. And it feels great because like once you can implement whatever you want, like you become unstoppable. Like if you can, if you would be very fast, you see, all right, I'm a little bit cold-hearted when I speak to people, and you make the switch. In a few days, you become warm and charming. If you think down, like there is this guy who speaks in a certain way, and in a few days, like you get the ball rolling, and you speak that way. If you know, if there's a new diet or a hard thing, or going to the gym, or dressing in a certain way, or like feeling like having a belief about yourself, for example, that nobody can stop you, that you're relentless, that you will never stop against any adversity. If you become good at implementing mindsets, you can like implement everything in a matter of days. You become unstoppable. Like your reality will just change so fast. And I'm not at that point yet where I didn't become a millionaire overnight. I'm not still, but there's many things that, and it's nice to see how many things I've been able to implement pretty fast, and yeah, life changed pretty fast in the last few months, and it's crazy. I'm almost getting emotional from speaking about this because life is great. I mean, look at the view. And yeah, off topic, just starting a rant, but I will cut it off here. Hope you liked the video, hope you liked the view. I think I will make more videos like this, just looks better. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.